Check. Okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Cut. Thank you guys so much for joining me for my 10th episode. Thank you guys for all the support throughout this series so far. In this episode, I have my friend Ali. Ali, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, my name is Ali. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. I guess when I think we met when we were doing that specific filming project for Goodwill Hunting. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was.
Are you still at
Yeah.
Colin right now?
So I was never really at Colin, so I only took a continued ed class. So I wasn't
Okay.
there taking classes for credits or anything like that. So I literally just went to take classes for acting, because
Okay.
my main thing is my business, and so acting is something I do on the side for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so we'll definitely go more in depth about your business for sure.
Cool.
But how old were you when you started that?
The business.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got into entrepreneurship really early. So I think I started my first business when I was 16, but
Okay.
it didn't go anywhere. So it was more of a learning experience. And then I started my cleaning business, TidyUpped, when I was 19. And that's the one that I've been running now for like about 6 years now. So I'm 26. I was 19, 20 when I started that business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And wow. Okay. Because it's definitely cool to see how everybody has something different that they're always trying to do. What got you into, or what made you want to start a cleaning business in the first place?
Hmm. I don't know. So why did I want to start a cleaning business? So I was looking I was looking for something to do. I was 19, looking for my next move, next big move, next business venture I wanted to start. Cleaning, I was already familiar with. So my mom used to clean houses. So I grew up single mom, 4 kids. She used to clean. So I was familiar with the industry and I used to tag along with her when I was a kid. So, I've basically been in the industry since I was 9. um, and then yeah, so I remember I always would tell her like, hey, you should probably turn this into a business. But you know, she was busy raising kids, and also I'm more of like she wasn't really an entrepreneur. So, anyways, like I'm 19, I'm like looking for different things to do. I think I was just doing some research, like what are some solid businesses that you could, get into? What could I start low entry? And I just saw cleaning, and then I went with that one. So I started from scratch, and then just been working on, growing the company. Just yeah. So honestly, yeah, that's why.
Interesting. That's cool because I feel like I've definitely seen how our parents will kind of plant a seed in us, and then it's kind of on us if we're gonna take it to the next level. Because I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing. Because
Mhm.
my dad had or has a business, and I think it's cool how us as kids we can kind of take up that mantle, in its own sense. But I think that's cool that you're doing that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And honestly, bro, my mom wasn't planting this seed. Like, uh, my mom was like, go to college. So I went
Mhm.
against what everybody, you know, I guess wanted me to do, which was go to school, get an education, get a job. I've
Yeah.
just never, I've always been on the creative side and wanting to build things. And so I started a business, but that wasn't a seed anybody planted. That was just me. Um,
Huh.
yeah.
Huh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting that sometimes we just stray differently from the path because everybody in my entire family, they all went to college for like to go into the medical field. And when me and my older sister were trying to figure out what we wanted to do for college, both of us said we're not going to do anything regarding the medical field. She went on to become
Yeah.
an engineer, and I went way off the deep end, and I'm like, I want to make movies. So, um, that's good. I think us trying new things is, I think that's cool for us because it kind of changes the standard. And also, I what I'm doing is I'm showing people my age and younger people that we can still we don't have to stay the normal trajectory, and we can try different things. And I think that's cool because I personally want to see like younger people try new things and not always go the route that everybody says is the right route, because at the end of the day there really isn't a right route. So where does acting play its part in your current career?
Yeah, I want to add something to what you were saying. Like, I've been
Yeah.
following this comedian recently. He's an Iraqi, he's American, but his parents are from Iraq, so he's a first generation Iraqi American. And I noticed that he's just now blowing up and posting a lot. Um, but he's been doing comedy for a while, and now he's like come out and told people like how it was like for it's actually part of his comedy too, but what it was like for him growing up, and him doing comedy, like it's not something. I think his parents still don't approve of his career choice,
Mhm.
but I noticed that he didn't really post a lot until now, and now he's like becoming known. I think he waited until he actually started doing something with the career for him
Mhm.
before he started like
Right.
putting it out there. Um, and because he, like grew up like this isn't the path you're supposed to go on. But that's
Yeah.
interesting. But I mean, now he's doing good. Um, and he's just like constantly posting new stuff, always doing shows. But yeah, no, that just made me think of that when you were saying all that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I I think my dad always told me he wanted me to start a business, because he always tried to tell me
Oh,
and my
cool.
sister. Yeah, no, because he has his own business, but he still works full time. And he always told me, at least when I was in high school, if you ever have the opportunity to start your own business, he highly recommended doing that. So that way we can work for ourselves as opposed to working for somebody else. And I'm like, okay. And then I thought about it and I prayed about it a lot. And I realized that it was probably the best opportunity for me to start it while still in school. Um, because I'm still living at home. I didn't move away, and so I still have that safety net. And trying to run it full time while still in school has been definitely a challenge. But I'm glad that I started that now as opposed to waiting until after I graduate for me to get the ball rolling. But at least
Yeah,
now
good for
I
you.
yeah, thank you, because I've had clientele experience for probably about the past 9 months. And that's been an experience in itself because the whole concept of getting new clients has kind of been a pain. So I'm like, I'm glad I'm figuring this out now as opposed to as soon as I'm graduating and like I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to pay off my student loans. At least I
Hmm.
have some experience under my belt. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's really good. I'm yeah glad you got that started right now.
yeah, thank
I'm learning. Yeah, like when you start something, whatever it is, as they say the hardest part is starting. And
yeah.
then, but when you start and you take a lot of action, you start to learn things differently. But when you don't have any momentum going, you're not doing things, you're not taking action on things, you don't have any feedback or response you're getting from what you're trying to be able to try, pivot, or do different things or see what's working or what's not. So just
Hmm.
doing it, you get more feedback and you know what works, what doesn't, you just grow from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's why they say experience and failure is the best teacher. Because this type of stuff, this whole entrepreneurship thing, is not taught in schools, and it's not really taught in college. So I'm glad that I did, because there's a lot
You
there's a
know,
lot. Good.
Yeah, apparently there is schools that teach this stuff. I've learned this recently, but they're not available to everybody. Like you have to be very wealthy, and then you
Mm,
can enroll your students in these different schools and classes that teach entrepreneur. Like these schools, they're full day like any other classes, except the curriculum that we spend time on, the shit that we never apply is just like that stuff they spend 2 hours on, and then the rest of it is building life skills like public speaking,
Oh, wow.
finances, all that stuff. But it's you have to have, like, most people either don't know about it or they just can't afford it, even if they do know
Right.
about it. So I learned that recently. Like there is actually schools that teach this stuff, but
Oh,
it's just not general public.
interesting. It's interesting you say that because I've been saying on the past three episodes that I am thinking about within the next 3 to 5 years of starting a mentorship program for kids in middle school, high school, college, just to help them figure out what they want to do with their career, specifically with at least within the creative field, because that's where I believe I have the most connections. So, people in video production, actors, actresses, screenwriters, directors, producers, and even other business owners, because I'd like to teach people, especially the younger and the next generation, that you don't have to do the traditional path. Now, obviously, I'm still in school because I'd rather get a bachelor's degree as a backup plan. But you don't have to stay. You don't have to go to school, become significantly in debt just to pursue a career. There are other options out there, and so I'd like to create some sort of program that isn't going to break the bank for all these parents, that they can send their kids to, or even they can attend themselves, and just kind of get an overarching picture of everything that's out there, through the connections that I've been able to build for the past 3 years, and then some, to help people get an overarching picture to see what they do want to do and what they don't want to do. Because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
that,
something.
yeah.
Because I don't think that's something that's taught when we're in the education system, and I feel like that's a failure on the education system itself. Because I feel like students should be well rounded, even though they're really not. Because I feel like they should, and so that they can kind of go into post graduation having an overarching picture and a well rounded view of what they want to do and what they clearly don't want to do. Um, so yeah, that just got me thinking.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's really cool. I think that's a great initiative. And if you're wanting to, like, kind of get a feel for what that would be like, there's actually a lot of stuff out there that's similar to that. Like a lot of mentorship programs, different things. Some of them volunteer based that you could, volunteer to kind of get an idea of how it works, get some experience working with some younger people. I'm actually in a program like that. It's called Big Brother Big Sisters, and so they pair you with another person, and you just mentor them. So I've been in the program for like over 2 years now, mentoring the same person. Um,
hmm,
so there's stuff out there like that now. You get some experience, and anyone who's
okay.
interested, who's watching this. I know we're live. Is there anybody who's actually on here right now?
No, there we got
Okay,
two viewers right now, but nobody, not anybody in chat just yet. Um,
cool.
still trying to grow that audience space. I feel like I'm getting more traction from posting than actual going live, but I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah, it's all
Uh,
good. I mean, yeah, it's still new. It's not like we're not celebrities.
no,
So,
no, 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 no. I've been doing this for about maybe 2 months, and I've
yeah.
seen roughly about, like, I want to say 30, 35, 40,000 views within the past 2 months. It's been pretty
Oh,
good.
that's pretty good. Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
that's
So,
cool.
yeah. Where do you see acting in that, in your life, and is that something you would like to pursue full time, or is that a dream that you have, or you just want to continue working on your business? What does that play into?
Bro, I'm very like multi faceted, I think is the word. Like my
Yeah,
main thing is business. Like I love entrepreneurship, business, creating, but I have such a creative mindset. I'm always looking at different outlets.
yeah.
I'm always trying different things. I just like to experience, um, just different things. I'm always reading. That helps keep. Actually, I enjoy that too. Because it's always different, learning new things. And
Mm,
then with acting, now it's been a couple of years with that. I did a stand-up comedy show recently, taking classes, did a play. Um, and that's just stuff that I love to do. But I'm figuring out how to add that in to my branding and my business, so I'm not like going off my path with what I'm already doing. Um, I'm just gonna add this piece to it with you know, acting and comedy. And I've actually seen other people recently. Now I've seen other people do that too. They have a business and they're just, their acting and their comedy is part of their brand that
Mhm.
differentiates them, I guess. Helps you stay top of mind. But so I mean, there's different things that like you get like as a result of doing like the acting comedy. You can build it up as part of your brand. Um, So yeah, so that's I'm kind of just working on that right now. But I don't prioritize like most of my time is prioritized to my main business, TidyUpped, um, and so yeah, that's my main thing. But yeah, I try to find like whenever find opportunities, I'll jump on them or I'll take more classes or whatever. So yeah, um,
That's
but
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think it's cool to be fairly well rounded and also have multiple interests and not, one specific thing because I would love to at some point. I've always been interested in music production. I'd love to produce music at some point. I thought about it. I wanted to take it as a minor in school, but that didn't work out. But that's good that you have different interests outside of your main interest, which is the business. Um,
yeah. And with AI, bro, it's pretty easy now to start producing
yeah,
music. I actually created I created like 4 songs using AI.
really.
Yeah, yeah, it's really easy. Like I think it's a app called Suno, um, and you literally just you can create the lyrics if you want, or you can write the type of music you want, and it'll create it for you. There's so many songs people are creating now with AI that sound real. Like they
Yeah,
their lyrics are really good. It's very visual. It creates emotion when you listen to like literally like listening to any song, but the difference is if you are a musician, you're going to have your brand, you're going to have fans, that people that like you. That's something AI doesn't have, right? Oh, I mean,
yeah,
actually I've seen one person do it. Apparently, like they sold, like this was a few months ago now, but they sold like a pretty big record.
really.
So yeah, yeah. So there are some
Huh.
people doing it with that. Yeah,
I've got mixed emotions when it comes to AI, especially in the creative field, because it's definitely a useful tool. Don't get me wrong. I 100% agree with that. I'm just, we're talking about potential. Job is being taken is the wrong word, but it can do. There are definitely AI like VFX softwares out there. So you're talking about VFX artists or different musicians. It's stuff like that that you know it's good to have, and it's definitely cool to see for sure. But then you're just like, okay, at what point are we gonna like allow it to like more people to do it? Obviously, it's free for everybody or paid or whatever. But at what point are we gonna like cap it before it becomes too much? You know what I mean?
yeah. I guess there's no way of capping it. It's already out there.
Right. Yeah. No. Because
Yeah,
I had seen. Um, because I also think that there are certain ethical boundaries that shouldn't be crossed. Um, Specifically, like I had seen a few weeks ago that there was a movie that the producers decided to use AI to bring Val Kilmer back to life, and they used it in the movie, and it looked fairly realistic. And they
oh
were,
really? Yeah.
yeah, I don't even remember what the movie was called, but when I had seen that, I was a little pissed off about that because I'm just like, okay, that's an ethical boundary that probably should not be crossed, because we're talking about one, using generative AI to bring people back from the dead. I don't like that.
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know they were
Yeah,
doing that. Who? I don't even know who that is. Val Kilmer?
he was
I might have to look that up.
Val Kilmer. He was. in the fourth Rocky movie, and he was also in um. We'll just look it up.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be curious.
Movies. He was in the original Top Gun. He was in Top Gun Maverick. He was Iceman, not Iceman. Yes, Iceman in Top Gun. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Bro, if I see a picture of him, I probably will recognize him.
Here, I'll share
You're
my
able to
screen.
share it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um, share screen. There you go. Wow. There you go. Add that to the stage. There we go.
Can you zoom in a little bit? Because I'm on my phone right now.
Oop, nope, that one.
Or I guess I got. Oh, actually, no, I guess I got to zoom in. Okay, I see it. Okay, yeah, I see him. I don't know if I know this guy exactly.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I
he
don't.
was
I'm not. Yeah.
in Top Gun. Let me see.
Okay, he was in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
He looks like that. He looks like he might like play the villain usually. Does he?
Yeah. It depends. He wasn't necessarily a villain in Top Gun. He was just kind of that cocky, showboaty person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Interesting. So this guy in real life passed away, and they filmed a movie with him in it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
As deep as the grave. I'm gonna look more into
And
that.
was it a full movie?
I believe so. I don't know
Wow.
if it had come out yet. It's a 2026 historical featuring pioneering. Yeah. So featuring a pioneering, fully AI generated performance of the late Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out later.
Yeah. So I had just seen that um a while ago. I had seen it on Instagram, and so I don't know. I feel like that's the ethical boundary that should not be crossed. Um, I think that because I had asked in one of my episodes a family friend who is a producer for the Jerry Springer show a while ago, like if he ever thought the AI would take over this creative space for sure. And he's just like, no, I don't really think it would, and that's primarily because it's a tool and it's meant to be used as a tool. It's not going to do more than what it's not really going to take our jobs because it's all prompt based. Now, for sure, definitely we should be ahead of the curve, especially as business owners, because we need to use it as a tool and get ahead of the curve instead of falling behind for sure. But definitely laying the ethical boundary and moral framework. And people are actually cracking down on these. They
Hmm.
on YouTube. YouTube they took it to court, I think, where
Oh wow.
they're making laws about not posting completely AI generated content and being able to monetize off that. So that's good. Um,
Hmm.
and because people had made channels completely AI generated and were monetizing off of it. So if we start laying the law down for stuff like that, I don't think we'll have to be concerned about that. But it's still gonna be progressing crazy, stupid fast. It's just stuff that we have to
Yeah.
be aware of as consumers.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, to have laws around that so that people
Yeah.
aren't monetizing off of it and just using it as a tool to kind of help you. Um, you know, it'll have like a, I guess, more efficient life because there's so much, that AI can do. And, it's actually not just prompt based anymore. So now there's AI agents. So an AI
Mhm.
agent will do tasks for you on your behalf without it being like a prompt back and forth.
Right.
Um, so I'm working on that right now, actually, training AI agents, trying to get them to do different tasks. It hasn't really gone anywhere yet, so I'm still working on that. But I try to stay on top of uh, on top of it. I use it a lot in my business to help with like the back
Yeah.
end stuff. Yeah, it saves you a ton of time, and it's it's either free or it's very like it's like $20 a month if you're on ChatGPT.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely stuff like that where we definitely need to get ahead of the curve with that. Um, and especially because you know whatever makes our lives as the business owners easier without losing the quality of work from other human employees. If it's stuff that it really is. Um, like, how do you feel about like a call representative, but you're just talking to an AI chatbot, and it's over the phone? How do you feel about that? If somebody were
I
to
have
contact you,
Yeah, I actually have that set up in my business. So if somebody calls, the way I have it set up is if somebody calls and it rings like 5 times, 6 times, and I don't answer or no one ansers, um, then AI picks up and it's like, hey, Ali and Vanessa, which is my other employee who answers calls, Ali and Vanessa are away from the phone right now, but I could take a message. Um,
mm,
or one of them, if they've are reaching out to get a quote, it'll be like, hey, Ali and Vanessa are away from the phone right now, but I can help you instead if you'd like. Would you like to get a quote? And then they'll say yes or no. It depends on what prompt they select. Like
right,
if they click get a quote on the phone menu, or if they click scheduling, whatever. So, but if they click get a quote, and then it'll take them through the exact process that I would over the phone. I would ask them, how did you hear about us? What city do you live in? Are you looking to get a quote for a one-time cleaning or something on? Like, this is a process that we have that I ask
yeah,
these same exact questions, but I told
hmm
the AI to ask it instead. So this has helped me because if I don't pick up a phone call, we don't miss out on the lead, and instead the AI picks it up. And what I've been noticing when we first rolled it out, people would just bounce off the call. But bro,
hmm
now it's becoming a norm. Like, people are actually following through on the. I'm obviously
yeah,
not the only one. They're calling other places and they're talking to AI.
right,
So people will actually follow through and answer the questions. They're like, yeah, I live in Allen, Texas, blah 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 blah, and then they'll come back to us and we can call them and follow up to actually finalize and get them a quote.
yeah,
So it picks it up, but it doesn't do the customer service part. It doesn't finalize the quote. It doesn't go to their house to, confirm and get them scheduled. It doesn't do any of that. It just picks up the phone when we don't, and it gathers information for us to follow up with them.
hmm
Um, but yeah, that's been a great advantage to have that, and people are becoming used to it.
oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, the reason I asked is because I feel like some people are annoyed with the idea that they're not talking to an actual person, but they're just talking to AI, or they're just getting an answering machine. How do you feel about that?
yeah, honestly, I'm annoyed with that. Like, I find that very annoying. But what I found is that everyone who does have it set up does also have an option to talk to a real person. So they're
Mm,
like, bounce, click this at any time to talk to a real person, or hey, we'll take your message and then a real person will call you back or whatever.
mm,
So I haven't experienced any where you're only talking to AI. I think but I don't make that many calls to other companies or people, but I
right.
think except once it was only AI. I don't remember if it was like a credit card thing or a health insurance thing. I don't remember what it was, but I didn't mind it just being AI because it was like for that particular thing. But otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah, it is annoying. But eventually, like, it's annoying because we're not used to it,
hmm
and we want that human connection. But eventually, if everyone starts moving towards that, it could be less annoying. But then for the companies that are just keeping it human contact, they'll probably get better results, honestly,
Right.
because everybody's moving towards that, and they're like, oh, at least this place, I know I can go to them and talk to somebody. Um, yeah, so for us, we'll always be available. We just have AI for when we don't answer the call.
Right. Which is great. Is you and your employees might be out busy doing something, and it's like you said, you're not losing the lead, but you'll still definitely follow up with them, which is great. Um, that's the purpose of this whole AI thing. Is it's supposed to, as a tool, it's supposed to make you more efficient as a business owner, and save you a bunch of time from doing X, Y, and Z. So I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, and like for
Um,
example, you could even you could set it up to answer calls for you after hours. And so after
Mm,
hours, somebody calls, the AI picks up and it's like, hey, this is actually outside of our normal business hours, but I can help. I can take some notes down. And then tomorrow morning, somebody will call you or something like that.
okay.
Yeah.
So
So now you're
what's
even capturing phone calls that you would have never captured because you're
mhm,
normally off.
okay. So what system are you using for it to take notes and then kind of send it to you?
So I'm using a system called Quo, but this is specifically, it is a business line, and it's a this business line I've been using for a while. They implemented an AI receptionist for you to add on if you wanted to, but that's because I'm already using the system. Some people are actually custom building like a
Yeah.
voice, you know. So mine's not custom built. It's already through the phone business line software I'm already using.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm using. They just added that feature, and then it automatically captures notes, and then it sends it to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Or actually, it doesn't send it. Well, actually, I think it notifies you in the email, like, hey, someone picked up a call. That's the name of the AI agent.
Hmm.
Um, and then I think you go into Quo to read it, or it could be in the email. I don't remember.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm learning too. I mean, I think I think both of our businesses are actually both service based. It's definitely interesting to see how we can definitely become a lot more efficient in what we're doing. Um, so that kind of plays into a different part of the business aspect I was wanting to get to. When you were first starting out, and it was, or I think we can go into how you started out. But when you were just starting out, what was the challenge to getting your first few clients, and how did you overcome the obstacle?
Hmm. So I don't even remember. So, or let me think on that. So my first clients, I remember I created a website. That was the first thing that I did just so I could have a Google presence and start building on
Mhm.
that. I think that was what started generating business until this day, actually. That's my number one lead source is Google, um,
Really?
organic. But it's not like you're about to have a bunch of, you know, leads come in right away. Um, yeah. So what else was it? Honestly, I don't even know to be honest. It just kept like slowly, organically growing and hiring. There's definitely struggles all along the way, and still, now it's just different depending
Yeah.
on what stage in the business. You know, but also for me, I was like you actually. I was living at home, so because I started at 19. I was just living at home, so I didn't really have like that pressure that I had expenses to cover. So I think it's really good for anybody to start a business young, but I didn't have that pressure of like needing to bring in all that business and needing to cover expenses. So that's honestly a really good thing. Um, and then I started networking. So now networking and Google are my biggest lead sources or referrals. So just networking, getting the brand out there, making connections, people start to recognize you as the person who does whatever the services that you offer. Um, but both of these things aren't like immediate automatic business.
Right.
It just takes time, actually, time and consistency. People will start to recognize you. You already have clients. You might start getting referrals, and then just making sure you consistently deliver on what it is you're offering. Yeah, honestly, that's it. I think that's like for any business, that's exactly what it is. Just time, consistency. It will work. Like, it's just like going to the gym and working out. Bro, you don't see the results right away, but you just keep going, you keep working out, you keep doing it and adjusting, like, oh, I thought I was supposed to be doing this, and that, but now that's not working. Let me do something different. Eventually, you'll get the result you're looking for. Or what I did, actually, I got coaching too. So I just modeled other people, other cleaning companies that were already doing it successfully. Um, Same with fitness. You'll model somebody who's already doing it well. Um, and then it's just a matter of time, honestly, because like there isn't any. I mean, AI is the only like new thing here, but everything there isn't a business that someone hasn't already done. There was probably a
Right.
guy just like me, 100 years ago who started cleaning business, had labor and all the things, and he grew a business, and so yeah, it's just like it's like what do you call it? It's just like guaranteed. You do this, and that, and then you'll get the output. Yeah.
Right. So at what point when you first started out did you realize were you going out and cleaning the houses yourself, at least for the
Yes.
first? Okay. So at what point did you know that you were financially stable enough to start hiring people?
Bro, so when I first started the business, I always had the plan. So I created a plan or a business plan, and I already had a vision that I would hire staff, I would hire employees, and like that was the plan. I didn't get into it um, just cleaning, and then eventually was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I can turn this into business or hiring people. Like, no, literally, I got into it with the business mindset, and then I I tried. I was like always of the mindset I need to delegate. I need to delegate. So I was always trying to hire people right from the beginning. Like even if it was
Right.
one job, like I didn't even care about making money. I just wanted to be able to get staff, um, and plug them in so that I could focus on the other activities that I needed to grow the business. Um, Bro, but I started at 19. I had no experience in hiring, managing, none at all. Like I did a terrible job with that. So I got coaching and I learned how to do all that from someone who's a high level executive coach who's helped who's personally has the management experience, but also helped multiple companies with management. So I learned that, and then that's when my hiring started becoming more efficient and better workplace, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. I feel like I'm the same way because all I want to do is to be able to delegate my work. Um, eh, not in the sense that like I'm above it or anything like that, because I don't want people to think that about me. But I'm more about the efficiency of the system itself, and how to streamline it and to make sure that we have a consistent pipeline of either content or um, it's a well-oiled system, and that we don't have to worry about stuff just falling apart and stuff like that. So um, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly,
definitely
bro. Yeah,
yeah because
exactly. Like I still step out and do cleaning till this day if it's needed. But I'm building a business, and then that business has different roles and structures for it to operate and grow. And there's no problem with any part of the business. Everybody's got their role that helps play a part in the vision and in the creation of this business. Yeah, so actually, yeah, I'll clean to this day. Like occasionally I have to go out on the weekend because I don't have enough staff, and I'll go clean an Airbnb. And it's
mm,
cleaning is fun. Cleaning, you enjoy it. It's like it's labor. You're out there, you're doing the work. You don't have to do all this business stuff. You don't have
right,
to you don't have to
right.
worry about like generating leads. You don't have to do reports. That's not for everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that because I don't know. I feel like it's been a good and bad thing that I started while still in school, because in all of my classes, I'm pretty much the only one who has his own business. Everybody
Oh,
else is just
nice.
going to, yeah, getting a degree for the sake of their parents wanting them to get a degree, so they're doing this, which is good. It sets me apart, but also at the same time, like I don't know anybody else who is doing this, so I don't. I've been looking for specific mentors to see if they can help guide me, because there's only so much that like I can do, and then so much that like my parents can help me with. I think my parents have been a blessing in terms of being able to connect me with certain people, but their connections can only get me so far. And in terms of like a video production business, like that is pretty much completely unheard of within my family, and at least within, as far as I know, within the Indian community. So like most of the people that I know, they own like a photography business, but not like full on full service video production. And that's what I want to be able to do. I think I have been learning more from different YouTubers that own their own video agency, that picking a niche is super, super important, as opposed to just, just doing whatever project you can get your hands on, because that's not how you can scale. And you can, once you scale, you can scale big time. And so I'm trying to figure out what my goal is for this summer is to figure out what my niche is and to go all in on it so that I can become the best in this specific niche and so that I can scale and so I can start outsourcing and delegating. Because if it was up to me, I wouldn't edit anything. I do not like editing. I'd rather pay somebody to do it because I don't have the time or the patience to do that. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, that's currently where I'm at because I'm like, I want to be able to learn from somebody who has had experience in this specific area, but I feel like it's so specific that like I don't know anybody and my parents don't know anybody. I'm sure that there are some out there. I just haven't had the opportunity to connect with them yet, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I know a couple of people who are in video production, but I don't know if they're in mentorship. I don't know if they're in mentoring other people, but I know a couple people in video production, and there's a couple of resources for actually free mentorship for people who are starting in business. One of them is called Score, kind of like in soccer when you score a goal. It's called
Hmm.
Score. That's free mentorship that's available to people. You can see if they have coaches that specifically had that experience. And there's another resource. I met someone yesterday at a networking event, and she works for a nonprofit company that provides free coaching, mentorship, and other programs for entrepreneurs. Um, I don't know too much about it yet because I reached out to her this morning. I sent her an email to learn more about it, checked out the website. So I haven't had any experience with it yet, but I was looking into checking that out too. So that could be like a couple resources that might have, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that because I feel like there's only so much that I can figure out on my own, and there's only so
Yeah.
much that my parents can help me with. But there are always, and I feel like there's an endless amount of resources out there that are able to help and benefit us. Just finding them and connecting with them is what I'm currently trying to do right now. So
Yeah, that's good, bro. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, and I think like just networking consistently so that people know what you're doing, that what you
yeah,
do, that can help generate results because people will think of you when they have a need or know somebody who has a need for what it is you offer. And then
right,
building a social media presence. Like those are the basics people are doing. They have a Google presence with a website talking about what they do. They're networking. They have a social media presence. And nowadays, actually, a lot of people are also doing things like this,
yeah,
podcasts or video meetings. So I mean, I guess you're doing all of the things. But yeah, that's what kind of like the basics. And then when you have like a lot of money, then you can start testing out with paid advertising and
right,
stuff like that.
right,
Yeah,
yeah. I totally agree because I was definitely thinking about running ads for sure, but I'm like I want to have a consistent, I guess, monthly retainer, enough monthly retainers in order for me to run that so I can scale. But
yeah, that's a good idea, bro. Learn from my mistakes. I wouldn't like the paid ads. They really are a gamble. Like you put your money. If you hire someone who has more experience, even then, like you pay a lot of money on the ads, you start generating some leads. All of that time, effort, paid money, those leads don't generally turn into closed business when you're
mhm,
doing paid ads. Like it takes a very long time, so you have to put in a lot of money
yeah,
and, until you actually start generating results.
right,
But it helps, like because it's constantly keeping your name out there, your brand out there. You'll continue dialing in your funnel page, making adjustments and all that. But bro, it costs a lot until you actually get results from
hmm,
those ads. I would definitely say do it organic first, network, all that,
right,
you know, um, and then look into to doing paid ads. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Um, yeah. So,
yeah,
um, just remind me again. You said you had an hour. Is
yeah.
that
I'm
going to be?
actually. It's actually probably good to like wrap up soon. Maybe we
Yeah.
find something to wrap it up with because I do have another meeting to get to, another
Yeah.
virtual
Yeah.
meeting.
Sure. Yeah. So, um, let's see. So, I like to ask all my guests, um, towards the end of every episode, if there is one specific thing that you would like to relay to the future generation, and just nuggets of wisdom, just to help them, and even people, our generation, just to see if there's anything that from your personal experiences to try to help them along the way.
Yeah, there's a few things that come to mind, and also like we're very dynamic. Things are always changing. We're always changing. The surrounding society is always changing, or at least I'm always like evolving, trying different things, and I'm also only 26, so what I say now is probably going to be different later. But um, and then also everybody's different, and everybody's personalities and interests are different. Um, but you know staying curious. But some people
Mm.
aren't curious like that. But yeah, staying curious, staying open minded, you know, adaptable, um, and then just being consistent, always taking action because the more action you take, the more you learn, um, and then have a vision for what you want and manifest that thing that you're wanting. Um, Yeah, and then yeah, just consistency. So yeah, so that's all I've got, and I guess it just depends on everybody's own interest, needs, or what their goals are. If you don't have
Yeah.
goals, I would say create goals. um, Gives you something to work towards. Yeah.
What to kind of dive deeper a little bit into that, just a little bit. What would you say for people that feel relatively directionless, if they do they know they really want to accomplish something, but they don't know what that is, and they're trying to figure it out, but they can't find something that they're passionate about or they're good at. So what would you say about that?
Yeah, I say if somebody's at that point, that's a good point because that means that they're looking and eventually they will find something. So if you're at a point where you're like, oh, I'm really trying to do something, I don't know what it is, you will literally start to find multiple ideas and options that will come up and until you find something. So that's actually a pretty good place. That means
Mm,
you are in discomfort. You are wanting change. That's actually the beginning signs of somebody wanting to start something, and just that processing and that thinking, you will find something. It's like whenever like you have that one thing in mind, you just start to see it everywhere you go. Like that's exactly what's happening. So that's a really good thing, for someone to be at that position. And I say if you do have goals and you're ambitious and you're doing the things, like then what's important is like figuring out how to stay calm, grounded, and present, and not
mm,
being anxious. So finding activities that help keep you grounded.
okay,
Yeah.
that's
Or just
great. That's
living
great.
like that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like for some that don't know what they want to do, or people that do, it's a good point that you raised about not knowing and feeling like you don't know what to do, because at that point, like, the sky's the limit. Like, you can do whatever you want, just as long as it's within realistic boundaries or whatever. But yeah, as we wrap it up, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate your
Thanks.
time and your nuggets of wisdom. I really appreciate that. Um, I like to close every single episode out with a word of wisdom from number
Nice.
6:24 through 26. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. And may the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support. Please like and subscribe and follow along for the journey. Believe it or not, this is our 10th episode, and so the fruits that I've seen from this has been such a blessing. So thank you. Please continue to watch, and thank you for all the support. And thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.